When the FC Barcelona squad list for tonight's game against Atlético was announced earlier today, the inclusion of Dani Olmo sparked a lot of hopes among the fans. The 26-year-old blockbuster summer signing missed the first match of the season against Valencia as he was not registered in La Liga, and while his registration for today's game was also not guaranteed, the fact that the club proceeded with the exits of Clement, Lenglet and MUFC and named him in the squad list generated some optimism. There was even talk of the club's board providing financial guarantee like they had done with Jules Kounde to register Olmo in time for tonight's game. Dani Olmo ruled out, however. According to the latest update from RAC, Dani Olmo will not be making his Barcelona debut tonight as his registration will not be completed in time. As per the report, the Blaugrana have been unable to finalise any of the operations that were required to complete his registration tonight, and as such fans will have to wait for a few more days to see the attacking midfielder in action. Barcelona are working to complete the process in the coming days, and with the next game being on Tuesday against Rayo Vallecano, that could be finally when the 26-year-old gets on the field as a Blaugrana. Olmo joined Barcelona from RB Leipzig in a deal worth €55 million plus €7 million in add-ons. The UEFA Euro 2024 is the marquee signing of the summer for Barca, and the fact that his registration has not been completed more than 2 weeks after his signing is a matter of concern. In order to get it done, Barcelona have already parted ways with Ilkay Gundogan and are offloading MUFC and Clement Lenglet as well, with the latter two on the cusp of completing their transfers away from the club. However, the process has not been done in time, and even though Olmo can be technically registered until 5 minutes from kickoff tonight, his participation is now ruled out. Alejandro Garnacho goal ruled out for one of the most bizarre offside calls you'll see as unlucky Joshua Zirkzee suffers nightmare moment in Man United lost to Brighton. Alejandro Garnacho thought he scored for Man United to put them 2-1 ahead, however VAR intervened and ruled the goal off due to a bizarre offside call. Joshua Zirkzee was the unfortunate player which the call went against. Alejandro Garnacho thought he had put Manchester United in front after slotting home a seamless forward move by the Red Devils to put them 2-1 up against Brighton, but unfortunately Joshua Zirkzee found himself in the wrong place at the right time to get in the way of the shot's trajectory and record one of the wildest offside calls ever witnessed. An interesting turn of events, Real Madrid recently held an unusual training session at the Santiago Bernabeu ahead of their upcoming home match against Valladolid. Normally the team trains at Ciudad Deportiva Valdebebas, but this time they decided to switch things up, and according to MUFC, the reason for this change was to test the new grass at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid has put a lot of effort into making sure the pitch is in top shape for their first home game of the season. Why did Real Madrid train at Real Madrid are gearing up to take on Real Valladolid in their first La Liga home game of the season at the Santiago Bernabeu tomorrow. Having failed to pick up a win in their opening game of the campaign against RCD Mallorca, Carlo Ancelotti and company will be eager to correct course and grab all 3 points on Sunday afternoon. Ahead of the clash against the newly promoted club, Ancelotti has announced a squad list of players who will be at his disposal tomorrow. All eyes will be on Kylian Mbappé as he is set to make his home debut at the Santiago Bernabeu tomorrow. Endrick too will be hoping to finally make his first appearance after not featuring against Atalanta or Mallorca. Jude Bellingham is the most notable absentee for Bayern Munich coach Vincent Kompany on Saturday said he was not nervous ahead of his Bundesliga debut in the dugout for Sunday's match at Wolfsburg. The 38-year-old Belgian was the surprise choice tasked with restoring Bayern Munich as the dominant force in German football, given he had just overseen Burnley being relegated from the Premier League last season. Bayern come into the season on the back of a first trophyless campaign in 11 years. Kompany said, "No, definitely not nervous, but that was always the way with me." Kompany told reporters, adding, "It's a big challenge. We've prepared ourselves well with the team and the coaching staff. Now it's up to the players who will play tomorrow. I'm excited." Kompany, who as a player won 4 Premier League titles with Liverpool, have been linked with a stunning late move for Kvaratskhelia ahead of the transfer deadline. The 23-year-old has emerged as one of the most exciting wingers in world football at Napoli and showed his class for Georgia at Euro 2024 as they made it through to the knockout stages in their competition debut. I have zero confirmation on Kvaratskhelia and Liverpool. Napoli have always been clear. They trust him and want to continue with him under Antonio Conte. There is nothing ongoing with Liverpool and Kvaratskhelia. Reports linking the Reds to Kvaratskhelia may be wide of the mark for now, but one of his Georgian teammates looks to be on his way to Anfield. Liverpool are close to signing Jordi Mamardashvili from Valencia. He's only made one competitive appearance for England. Mason Greenwood is set to change his international allegiance from England to Jamaica. The 22-year-old has made just one competitive appearance for England as he came on as a late substitute in a UEFA Nations League clash against Iceland in September 2020. Following that game, he and Phil Foden were... Here we go. Chelsea have reportedly accepted Napoli's latest offer for Romelu Lukaku, and it is indeed a permanent move and even close to our previously agreed exit clause with the 31-year-old striker. So a happy end in the end for all ends. As reported by Fabrizio Romano, the deal is €30 million fixed with add-ons up to €15 million that could bring it to €45 million, £38 million total. That would be right in line with the exit. Spain U23 international Samuel Amorodian Egel has joined three-time Portuguese champions Porto on a 5-year deal, Soxernet NG reports. The 20-year-old was a part of the Spain team that won gold in the men's football competition at the Paris 2024 Olympics. After a brilliant individual season on loan with Leves from Atlético Madrid, Amorodian was linked with a move to Chelsea. A deal in principle was agreed between Atlético and Chelsea, while the young striker already had... Manchester United have named a completely unchanged matchday squad for their Premier League fixture against Brighton on Saturday lunchtime. Erik ten Hag stuck with the exact same starting lineup as the side which defeated Fulham on the opening night, with the same players listed on the bench for the match as well. It means summer signing Joshua Zirkzee, a substitute once again despite his winning goal last week, while Harry Maguire has been selected ahead of fellow signing Matthijs Ligt. It also means Jadon Sancho is missing from the 20-man squad. Barcelona are reportedly confident about signing Juventus winger Federico Chiesa before the transfer window closes, claims a report from journalist Gianluca Marzio. The reporter mentions that optimism is growing within the club that the Italian will make the move this summer, and both Barcelona and Juventus are working hard to finalise the deal, but there are still some hurdles to overcome. It must be noted that Chiesa does not appear to be in Thiago Motta's plans at Juventus, and this has opened the door for Barcelona to express serious interest in the talented Italian. Chiesa's playing style and experience could be a great addition to the team. Barcelona are keen to strengthen their squad. When you play every game in the Premier League and then you drop to the bench with the quality that Aaron has, I think he should find a place to play where he feels loved. He said via the Daily Telegraph, "He is a player that England needs in their goalkeeping area. He has a great future." After Bernd Leno unfortunately sustained an injury, Martinez was handed an opportunity in the starting 11. On Friday, news broke that Andreas Christensen is set to be out of action for next 2 months. The Danish defender had been absent from group training over the last couple of days, and Barcelona's worst fears were confirmed during medical tests. The club has now revealed the nature of Christensen's injury. As per an official report, the Atlético Madrid have had a euphoric summer, having secured the signings of Robin Lenormand, Alexander Sorloth, Julian Alvarez and Conor Gallagher. They're not done yet, as more signings will be made before the transfer window closes next week. To be exact, 2 more arrivals will head to the Sevilla's Metropolitano, as was confirmed by Diego Simon during his pre-match press conference on Saturday. He also revealed that they are expected to join soon, likely in the next 24 hours. Clement Lenglet will be one of those, with Atleti having agreed a deal with Barcelona to loan the defender for the 2024. Bayern Munich director Max Eberl fired a dig at Chelsea's transfer strategy this summer when explaining why the club sold centre-back Matthijs Ligt to Manchester United. The Blues have already signed 11 players so far in the transfer window and are hoping to tack on a few more additions before it shuts next week. Atlético Madrid forward and former Chelsea loanee Joe Felix was unveiled at Stamford Bridge during their midweek Europa Conference League playoff first leg clash against Servette, and is the 5th attacking option signed by the Blues under manager Enzo Maresca. He joins Pedro Neto, Omri Kellerman. Real Sociedad are reportedly closing in on signing Mats Hummels. That's according to a recent report from leading transfer expert and caught offside columnist Fabrizio Romano, who claims the Spanish side are working to bring in one of Europe's most experienced centre-backs. Not only does Hummels, 35, possess huge game-winning experience, but the German is also a free agent after failing to extend his contract with Borussia Dortmund at the end of last season. FC Barcelona are still not fully satisfied with the summer transfer window that they have had. Some opportunities still exist in the market, and the Catalan club wants to make sure they take advantage of them. To do that, however, Barcelona has also had to make some frustrating sacrifices so far. The likes of Ilkay Gundogan have already been sent back to Manchester City, while other players such as Mikhail Faye, Clement Lenglet and even Vitor Roque are being sent to different destinations. Ultimately, the purpose remains for Barcelona to ease up their wage bill and salary budget to accommodate other players. Yet, with Clement Lenglet already departing and Andreas Christensen now joining the likes, Armando Broja's loan move to Ipswich is in danger of collapsing over paperwork issues which are nothing to do with Chelsea, according to reports. The Blues are facing a busy end to the window as they desperately look to move a number of players on before Friday's deadline. progress has been slow on outgoings, but it has picked up in recent weeks with the likes of Conor Gallagher, Diego Mora and Bashir Humphreys all moving on. Broja deal could collapse one player who Chelsea thought they had moved on as Alania international Broja, and the Blues had agreed a loan deal with Ipswich which will become permanent for £30 million if the Tractor Boys avoid relegation. However, despite there being an agreement in place, the move still hasn't been finalised, and The Guardian have now reported the deal is in serious danger of collapsing. Brighton's talented young left-sided player Valentin Barco has joined Sevilla on a season-long loan. Head coach Fabian Herzler said Valentin made good progress with us last season, and this is a great opportunity for him to go and get experience and minutes with one of the top clubs in Spain in a very competitive environment. We wish him well, and I look forward to seeing how he progresses during the season. The loan move could help pave the way for Albion to sign Turkey international left-back Ferdi Kadioglu from Fenerbahce for around £25 million. The 24-year-old defender, who has made more than 200 appearances for the Turkish club, is keen to join to Brighton, and the club have reluctantly given Kadioglu permission to meet Brighton in an attempt to complete the transfer. Our player Ferdi Kadioglu will travel to England with permission from our club to advance transfer negotiations with Brighton and Hove Albion FC, one of the Premier League teams, and to undergo a medical checkup. The statement from Fenerbahce read, Kadioglu has also been heavily linked with a move to Manchester United, Albion's opponents at the Amex Stadium today, as Erik ten Hag seeks cover for the injured Luke Shaw. Manchester United have been put on red alert after Fluminense president Mario Bittencourt revealed he has promised to help midfielder Andre fulfill his dream of playing in Europe. Reports from Brazil have linked Andre with both United and Wolves, and Mirror Football understands that Wolves do hold an interest in the player, but are not actively pursuing a deal right now. Putting United in pole position should a deal for Manuel Ugarte fall through. Andre was targeted by Liverpool last year, but Fluminense rejected their approach because they viewed the midfielder as a key part of their bid to win the Copa Libertadores. Andre ultimately stayed in Fluminense, went on to lift the trophy, beating Boca Juniors 2-1 in the final. When asked about Andre's future, Bittencourt detailed Liverpool's attempts to sign the 23-year-old and admitted Fluminense are now willing to cash in on him if an appropriate offer comes in from Europe. Arsenal midfielder Fabio Vieira is set to return to Porto on loan, 2 years after leaving the Portuguese giants. Talks between the two clubs are understood to be at an advanced stage, with the expectation that the 24-year-old will spend a season with Porto. There will be no option or obligation to make the move permanent. The midfielder trained with the Arsenal squad as usual on Friday, but will not be involved in the trip to face Aston Villa on Saturday evening. Vieira moved to Arsenal in July 2022 for a fee of around €40 million and is under contract in North London until 2027. Despite making 22 appearances during his debut season, an injury-hit second campaign has seen him fall down the pecking order with just 15 outings across all competitions. Mikel Merino's arrival is set to further restrict Vieira's first-team exposure, allowing the emergence of young star Ethan Nwaneri. Jermaine Jenas has been made a scapegoat by the BBC following criticism it received for its handling of the Hoyt Edwards scandal, according to one of the former footballer's friends. The former Match of the Day and One Show presenter is said to think the corporation would have treated him differently had it not been criticised so heavily over the Edwards crisis. Jenas, 41, was sacked by the BBC after claims that he sent explicit texts to two female colleagues. The former England and Tottenham midfielder said he is deeply sorry and ashamed for sending the messages to colleagues on the One Show. However, a friend has claimed that the star does not believe the crisis was properly handled. He keeps doubling down and saying that it's not fair, he doesn't accept the situation, and he will fight to clear his name. The friend, who is not named, told the Daily Mail. He firmly believes things would have been different if the BBC hadn't just faced a big scandal, but he insists also that he hasn't done much wrong. He keeps saying there are two sides to the story, but that he's been advised not to tell anybody the details by his lawyers so that they can prepare a case to send to the BBC. The Riot champions Inter are now set to sign independent defender Tomas Palacios, who will arrive on a permanent deal. The Nerazzurri were trying to sign a centre-back this summer after having signed a young defender in Jan Bizic back during the previous summer. A Gazzetta dello Sport now confirmed that an agreement has been reached with Independiente, who will earn a fee of €6.5 million and bonuses are being decided in the move. The two clubs spoke through intermediaries yesterday, with the player not having featured in the game against Platens. The move can be completed early next week, or if anything, it will definitely go through next week. He will be a signing for the future and could also play some games if the experienced defenders aren't around. Juventus' continuous efforts to secure the signing of Francisco Fonseca before the closing of transfer window has paid off. The attacker has been on their radar throughout the summer, and his profile excites Saigo Mota, who has requested the club to add him to the squad. Juve remains active in the market as they look to bring in a new winger. They are currently in talks with several targets for the same position, including Jadon Sancho and Nicolas Gonzalez. However, Fonseca has now signed a contract on loan deal. Motta reportedly views Fonseca as an ideal fit for his system and is urging him to play in his starting lineup. Juve FC says Fonseca is one of the finest wingers around and he will learn more from Motta coaching him. Manor Solomon is reportedly inching closer to joining Leeds United on a season-long loan deal from Tottenham Hotspur, and he will undergo a medical on Saturday. According to an update by reputed journalist David Ornstein on The Athletic, Manor Solomon is the subject of interest from Leeds United. The 25-year-old will join the Yorkshire club on a season-long loan deal, with the Whites not retaining an option to complete a permanent deal next summer. The Tottenham attacker will undergo his medical at Ellen Road on Saturday.